For over 3 decades, one aircraft dominated the skies with an invisible grip, the B-2 Spirit, a symbol of stealth, fear, and technological dominance. But now, the game has changed. The United States has unveiled a bomber so advanced, so strategically engineered, that it makes the iconic B-2 feel like a relic of the past. Its name, the B-21 Raider. And what sets it apart? Imagine an aircraft with the radar signature of a mosquito, an aircraft that costs just a third of its predecessor. One that can vanish from detection at any angle, in any environment, and do so while commanding a digital army of its own. Before we dive deep into how this machine is rewriting the future of aerial warfare, take a moment to support this content. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. It helps immensely to keep bringing you next-generation stories like this one. Now, let's talk stealth, true stealth. Back in 1989, when the B-2 first flew, it was a revolution in aviation. Its design focused on forward-facing stealth, radars scanning head-on, completely blind to it. That was enough for Cold War tactics. But modern warfare is anything but linear. Today's radar systems surround their targets with overlapping frequencies, synchronized networks, and real-time AI tracking. The B-2, once the ghost of the skies, suddenly became traceable, from the side, from the rear. Enter the B-21 Raider. This isn't just stealth, it's full-spectrum, 360-degree invisibility. Every contour, every panel, every screw was sculpted by the most powerful supercomputers on Earth. These machines ran millions of simulations to ensure radar waves don't bounce back, they vanish. To an enemy radar operator, trying to detect a B-21 is like trying to spot a single mosquito at midnight in the pouring rain, with your eyes closed. And it gets even more intimidating. The B-21 doesn't just disappear, it brings the future with it. It's smaller than the B-2, which may sound like a downgrade, until you realize that in stealth design, size is vulnerability. A smaller airframe means fewer chances to be spotted, fewer surfaces for radar waves to cling to. And yet, it carries firepower that can reshape battlefields. That's only the beginning. When it comes to radar detection, it's all about reflection. Every square inch of a plane's surface is a potential mirror to enemy sensors. That's why, when engineers began working on the B-21 Raider, they went smaller, sharper, and smarter. The B-21's wingspan measures just over 40 meters, compared to the B-2's massive 52-meter wingspan. That's a significant cut in surface area. Less surface, less signature. But there's a twist. Even though the B-21 carries only about half the payload of the B-2, roughly 9,000 kilograms versus 18,000, it doesn't need brute strength to win. Because modern warfare isn't about quantity, it's about precision. Today's smart bombs are guided by satellites and onboard sensors. A single precision-guided missile can eliminate what once required dozens of conventional bombs. That means fewer weapons needed, more effectiveness per strike, and far greater operational flexibility. But the real game changer? Smaller aircraft can operate in tighter spaces. The B-21 can take off and land on shorter runways, making it deployable from more bases around the world. It needs less logistical support, less time for maintenance, and ultimately, costs far less to operate. The B-21? Now let's talk numbers. The B-2 Spirit cost a staggering $2.2 billion per unit. That's more than the entire defense budget of many countries, roughly $692 million per unit. 1/3 of the cost, with triple the technological edge. That alone is monumental. But cost isn't everything. What really matters is adaptability. And this bomber was born in the digital age. When the B-2 was developed, the Soviet Union still existed. Personal computers were new. Cell phones were bricks. And the internet? Mostly unknown. The B-21 was forged in an era of artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and cutting-edge materials science. That gap in technological foundation is the difference between a flip phone and a smartphone with supercomputing power in your pocket. And it shows. Every inch of the B-21 has been optimized using advanced electromagnetic modeling and AI. Each bolt, each angle, each joint is designed not just to fly, but to vanish. From radar, from infrared, from acoustic detection. It's not just a stealth plane. It's a stealth system. And the materials? There's something else entirely. The B-2 was a marvel in its time. Built using radar-absorbing coatings developed in the 1980s, it could disappear from sight, but at a cost. Those materials were heavy, fragile, and demanded constant maintenance. Special climate-controlled hangars were needed to apply the coatings, which had to be redone regularly. It was like maintaining a stealth sculpture, delicate, expensive, and slow. The B-21 Raider throws that model out the window. Its airframe uses advanced composite materials that are inherently stealthy, engineered at the molecular level to absorb and scatter radar waves. On top of that, they're coated with ultra-thin, multifunctional layers that do the job better, faster, and longer. These new coatings are lighter, more durable, and require less maintenance. That's less time grounded, more time in the air. And yes, that's why the B-21 has a brighter, more reflective surface compared to the black matte of the B-2. Because its stealth doesn't rely on color, it's embedded in the skin itself. But it's not just the materials that have evolved, it's the mindset. The B-2 program suffered from catastrophic budget overruns and production cuts. The original plan was to build 132 bombers. Only 21 ever made it off the line. Spread across so few units, the development costs skyrocketed. With the B-21, the Air Force learned from history. At $692 million per unit, the cost is lower, but not because it's less capable. It's because it was designed with mass production in mind. The goal? At least 100 units, built with efficiency from day one. Modern digital tools, including advanced simulation software and even 3D printing, drastically cut down on build time and costs. Northrop Grumman reports that design-to-production errors were slashed from the industry norm of 15 to 20% to just 1%. That's industrial precision at its finest. The result? Faster builds, better availability, more planes in the sky ready for any threat. And now, let's talk about something truly mind-blowing. Autonomy. What if your most powerful aircraft didn't need a pilot at all? The B-21 Raider enters a new dimension of warfare. Not just through stealth, not just through technology, but through intelligence. This bomber is what experts call optionally manned. That means it can fly with pilots on board, or without them. Completely autonomous, fully driven by artificial intelligence. Imagine a scenario where no American lives are put at risk. The B-21 can be sent deep into enemy territory, detect its own targets, and strike with surgical precision, all without a human hand on the controls. But that's just the beginning. The Raider is also a flying command center. It's designed to coordinate with other aircraft, satellites, and even ground forces in real time. Think of it as a ghost in the sky, one that can direct the battle while remaining unseen. Even more futuristic, it can command an entire fleet of unmanned aerial vehicles, loyal wingmen, combat drones. The B-21 can send them ahead to scout enemy positions, jam radar systems, or even sacrifice themselves to protect the main bomber. It's not just a plane, it's a general leading a silent aerial army. Now, let's talk about its bite. Even with a smaller payload than the B-2, the B-21 carries the most lethal weapons on Earth. For conventional strikes, it can deliver precision-guided bombs that hit within meters of their targets. Long-range standoff missiles allow it to strike from hundreds of kilometers away, before enemy defenses even realize it's coming. And for the deepest, most hardened targets, the B-21 can carry the 13TZ 600-kilogram massive ordnance penetrator, a bomb so powerful it can shatter underground bunkers buried hundreds of meters below the surface. No enemy safe house is truly safe. Psychologically, this changes the game. World leaders hiding behind layers of concrete and secrecy now face a weapon that can reach them silently, invisibly, and without warning. That's not just deterrence, that's domination. And we haven't even reached its nuclear role yet. The B-21 Raider doesn't just strike with precision. It safeguards global stability with a nuclear arsenal so advanced, it redefines deterrence. Equipped to carry modern nuclear gravity bombs like the B-61 and B-83 and a next-generation long-range standoff nuclear cruise missile, the B-21 ensures the US maintains a credible, flexible nuclear deterrent. One that can reach any target on Earth without ever being seen. But here's what truly makes it revolutionary. adaptability. Unlike the B-2, which is locked into 1980s hardware and requires massive retrofits for upgrades, the B-21 is built on an open architecture system. That means it's modular, future-ready. Designed to receive updates and new capabilities, without needing to redesign the whole aircraft. As directed energy weapons, hypersonics, and quantum-enhanced tech come online, the B-21 will be ready to integrate them. It's a bomber designed not just for today, but for the battles of 2050 and beyond. And it's already airborne. The first flight took place on November 10, 2023, from Palmdale to Edwards Air Force Base. As of 2025, 3 test aircraft are actively validating stealth profiles, flight dynamics, and weapon systems. So far, all benchmarks have met or exceeded expectations, even though the finer details remain classified for good reason. The program officially entered low-rate initial production in 2025, backed by an additional $4.5 billion in funding to accelerate development. This isn't just a defense project, it's a strategic priority. The Air Force has plans to build at least 100 B-21s, with production scaling through the late 2020s. The first operational squadron is expected to achieve initial capability in the early 2030s, a remarkably fast timeline for such a sophisticated platform. And here's something game-changing. Unlike the B-2, which requires specialized climate-controlled hangars, the B-21 can operate from standard facilities. That means it can be deployed globally with more flexibility, more mobility, and less infrastructure. But how does this affect America's adversaries? For decades, nations like China and Russia have poured billions into building layered anti-access defense zones. Massive radar networks, advanced surface-to-air missile systems like the S-400 and S-500, and intercept fighter jets, all meant to keep US forces out of reach. But all of that? Obsolete. Those systems depend on one basic assumption: they can see the threat coming. The B-21 radar shatters that assumption. Enemy radar arrays that cost billions can't lock onto what they can't detect. No signal, no warning, no chance to respond. Even the most sophisticated air defense systems are helpless against a bomber that vanishes from every detection spectrum: radar, infrared, and acoustic. It's like trying to defend your fortress from a ghost. This gives the United States an overwhelming advantage in what military strategists call deterrence through capability. When adversaries know that their most critical military and political targets can be struck without warning, no matter how deep or well defended, they're far less likely to act aggressively. The B-21 isn't just a weapon, it's a message. Every time it flies, it tells the world, America holds the technological edge. Its allies are protected, its enemies, they're never out of reach. But what makes this bomber even more impressive isn't just its power or its stealth, it's how it was built. The Raider represents a turning point in how America designs and builds military aircraft. For the first time in decades, a major defense project is not only staying on schedule, but delivering on its promises without the usual cost overruns and production delays. This isn't just a new plane, it's proof that the defense industry can evolve, faster, smarter, and more effectively. And what's coming next will define the future. The B-21 Raider isn't just a successor to the B-2 Spirit. It's the beginning of an entirely new era in aerial warfare. With full-spectrum stealth, open architecture, AI integration, and a global strike range, this aircraft redefines what it means to dominate the skies. It's not built for one type of mission, it's built for every mission. From nuclear deterrence to conventional strikes, from autonomous operations to battlefield coordination, it does it all. It can command drones, it can update itself with future tech, it can deploy from basic airstrips, and it can disappear from the eyes of even the most advanced radar systems. It's a 6th-generation platform, deployed before most nations even finish building their 5th. While other countries struggle to develop basic stealth capabilities, the US Air Force is fielding an aircraft that makes those efforts irrelevant before they even launch. Compared to the B-2, the B-21 is more agile, more affordable, and more adaptable. It can evolve as threats evolve, integrating new weapons, new defenses, and new capabilities, without waiting for the next decade's funding or the next generation of engineers. The B-2 was perfect for the Cold War. The B-21 is perfect for now and for everything that comes next. It symbolizes American air power. But more importantly, it guarantees it. Every time a B-21 Raider lifts off the runway, it sends a clear signal across the globe. The United States leads in innovation, stands ready to defend its allies, and holds the line against any threat, visible or invisible. If you believe in the power of smart defense and future-forward innovation, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. The sky is no longer the limit. With the B-21 Raider, the future is already airborne.